Do you want to draw just like the Invader ZIM art style? I can help with that. Hi, I'm Flamgo. I'm the art director of Invader ZIM Lost and Found, where we produce official-looking episodes such as Squishy Hugger of Worlds and Top of the Line. It's my job to teach people these things. Welcome to the 4th episode of Art School. Today's subject, expressions. Let's get into it. When it comes to expressions, Invader ZIM does not hold back. The show has some very extreme expressions, but they do have some rules I've gathered to get them just right. Now keep in mind, humans and Urkins share a lot of similarities in the face. The only thing you change is the teeth, tongue, and presence of pupils, ears, and nose. So for this, the advice I give you can mostly be used interchangeably between humans and Urkins. Let's start off with eyes. Eyes can vary in shape between characters. Some are just circles, some are ovals, some are closed all the time. Eyes are a very important part of facial communication. For anger, confusion, or anything that would have a character furrowing their brows, you would cut off the normal shape of the eye like this into a diagonal slope with a little notch at the end. If the expression calls for it, you can do just one eye. For a more subtle look, you can have the notch of the eyebrow line poke out from a full eye shape like this. If either one of the eyebrows are furrowed, in between those two eyes, add a forehead wrinkle. In Season 2, it can look like any of these. It's not very consistent. And sometimes you may want to cut off the bottom of the eye. Maybe the character is super happy or on the verge of crashing out. Same as before, cut off the bottom of the original eye shape. What's also important to know is that you do not curve any cuts in the eye. If you cut off the top or bottom of the eye, make sure these don't curve inward or anything. It's a straight line. If the eye has pupils, you could shrink them for intense emotions like panic, or turn them into upside-down triangles if the emotion is really intense. Mouths are ridiculously important to the style. For mouths in general, you would usually avoid curved lines. Now there are exceptions to this, if that's what the select mouth calls for. However, for the usual mouth you would probably see in lip syncing, you would not rely on curvy lines. To draw a mouth, specifically the more angular ones, I like to start with the vertical lines and then connect them with the horizontal lines. Remember, the mouth is never visible over the eyes. The eye goes over top of the mouth. Lots of more professional cartoonists advise that you start your sketch with the eyes and draw the head around it, as it helps your drawings become more expressive. Though this is definitely true and also helps if you want to draw fast, for this style I would actually advise drawing the mouth first with the more extreme expressions. See, the mouth is usually very large, taking up about half of the face, and a lot of times, especially when they're screaming, their entire head becomes elastic just to accommodate the mouth. When a character is screaming, a way to tell if they're smiling or frowning is to do one slightly diagonal line if they're smiling, or add an extra downward slant if they're frowning. Then add a downward line, and make the bottom jaw very small in comparison. It would only fit about 3 teeth like this. If this character is a human, the teeth would often separate into individual rectangles. The tongue sprouts up and is often jagged into an M shape. From a front angle, you would draw their normal head shape, cut it off like a South Park Canadian, and close it off with a line. Then you would draw 2 slightly inward curves downwards. Add the small jaw that would look like a triangle on the bottom, and then add the teeth and tongue with the same previous instructions. One last thing for mouths, you can have them extend off the face. You don't have to feel limited. However, to prevent the mouth from looking like a slapped-on PNG, make sure the cheek goes out with it like this. Not too thin, not too thick. Now to note some things that they did early on in the season, but with their fine style they stuck with, they don't do it anymore. Early series, Urkins had these zipper-like, squared-off teeth. Though it did become a well-known trait of the style, they didn't stick with it long, and now Urkin teeth are rounded off, evenly spaced squiggly lines. Now for any character, they do not do these beak-like mouths anymore. Instead, have a line drawn inside the head, or for Urkins, you can just have no mouth at all. The amount of teeth you have can vary, but I'd say a safe range for most of the existing series is 5 to 7, depending on the mouth shape. But, in the Christmas episode, they changed Zim's design a bit last minute. One of the changes is in having more teeth, so if you want to continue where the style left off, draw them like the Christmas episode. If you want to show off your newly learned skills, you can join the Invader ZIM Lost and Found Discord server and help us produce the new episodes the fandom so rightfully deserves. Next episode will be a little different. This episode is going to be all about Zim himself and how to draw him. Following that will be episodes designated specifically for single main characters. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.